fight tonight.
What's going on, everybody? Jade up here. Today's video is going to be over Veteran Kind's Aegis hard mode, the first boss. And the reason I'm going to split these up into different videos, so I'm going to have the first boss, which is this video, second boss, which will be the next video, and then the third boss, which will be obviously the third video. The reason I split them up like that is because I wanted to provide a better video for you that are watching and want to understand what mechanics are happening and stuff like that. So that's why I'm going to do it like this. Again, in this trial, there's a total of 3 bosses. Each boss has at least one mini boss with that main boss. And keep in mind that you can activate hard mode on each individual one. Just make sure that you activate hard mode on the previous boss, or else you probably won't be able to on the further ones. Also keep in mind that a lot of these videos that I've been doing, I've been solo tanking these, so I solo tank all 3 bosses and all ad pulls except for 2 ad pulls, I think. So I'll be talking about the mechanics as if there was another tank tanking with me, just because I think a majority of people are going to be tanking with 2 people. So that's how I'll kind of work that out. Again, keep in mind that I'm only one person putting out this content, at least on my YouTube video or my YouTube channel. So I'm pretty much working alone. I pretty much have no help. And I work from home, and I take care of some family members as well. So thank you guys for understanding that I'm not, I don't have a lot of time on my hands. So what time I do have, I try to use that in a, what's the word? Anyways, I just try to use it in a timely manner. So whatever time I do have, I try to provide you guys with the best content I can provide with what time I have. So thank you guys for understanding that. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. And the first boss we have is Yandir the Butcher. I guess that's how you pronounce it. He has about 80 million health on hard mode, 64 million health on non-hard mode. He has 2 additional ads sitting next to him. On the left is the Fire Shaman, who has about 3.4 million health. And then the Sea Adder to the right of him that has about 6.4 million health. The Yandir will also spawn a Griffin later on, which we'll get into, who has about 6.4 million health. Alright, let's talk about the first ad, which is going to be the Fire Shaman. He does one mechanic you need to look out for. All he does is he'll summon 3 fire meteors on 3 random players. All they need to do is just spread out a little bit, hold block, should be fine. If you don't hold block, it will knock you down on your ass, so just be aware of that. If you double stack the meteors, you could potentially kill each other, especially if you have the Thracian's gloves on, so keep that in mind. Also, once you kill the Fire Shaman once, he will respawn again, roughly about 25 seconds to a different location. There's only 4 locations that he's going to spawn at, so just keep that in mind, and you'll see it when you watch the rest of this video. The start location is the one we're at now, and then it'll rotate, obviously, clockwise around the room. Now let's discuss the Sea Adder, which the off-tank will grab. He has a few mechanics everyone needs to look out for. First thing is that if the Sea Adder or the Griffin is stacked right on top of Yandir, the minis will enrage. Second thing the Sea Adder will do is a type of spin attack, which if you look closely, he just did it. That just basically what it does is it latches onto the tank that he is aggro to. All you need to do if you're not blocking, CC break, should be good to go. Next mechanic is the Bile Spray, which is a spit mechanic the Adder does, spitting at you after about 3 seconds and leaving a ground AoE underneath your feet, staying in that location for about 8 seconds. You want to be out of that mechanic. If not, it will accumulate damage over time and nuke you. The last mechanic the Sea Adder does is a very important one. he will do a slam mechanic. The adder will jump high in the air, slamming down on the ground and doing a lot of damage. If not blocked, you will get knocked back and be potentially killed. The AoE is about 8 to 10 meters wide, so just make sure that you pay attention to the position of the sea adder and hold block once he jumps all the way up in the air. Next we have the Griffin, who the off tank will grab. The Griffin spawns at about 65% of YANDIR'S health. Again, as my group has much higher DPS than most, the DPS may vary on when the Griffin may spawn, so just keep an eye around 65%. Once the Griffin does spawn, a few mechanics are worth mentioning. First, he will do a cone-like attack to whoever has taunt, usually the off tank. So just be aware of the cone placement. Make sure you don't face it towards the group. Hold block and you should be fine. If you don't, it may knock you back. Next, he will then hover in the air, sending out small little AoEs from underneath his feet. Then after about 3 seconds, he will send a huge AoE to whoever has taunt, usually should be the off tank. Just hold block during that phase and you shouldn't get knocked back or knocked on your butt. The AoE is about 8 meters wide. Again, it can be blocked, and basically after that, the mechanics repeat. So again, the longer you hold the boss, the mini next to Yandir, he will stay in rage. So just again, keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the main boss, Yandir the Butcher. He has a lot of mechanics we need to talk about, so let's just go ahead and jump right into that. One mechanic Yandir does is he will turn to the mini, which is the sea adder or the Griffin, and he'll heal them for about 3 seconds. Next is a long heavy attack, which kind of looks like an uppercut. Just be sure to dodge roll this attack. If you have enough health or you're being guarded, you can take this hit. Just make sure you're holding block. Yandir will also do a poison cone attack, aiming at the tank. So just be sure to kind of angle that away from group, because sometimes it does get stuck on wherever you are located at. Sometimes it will, if you're too far to the right or left, sometimes Yandir will stay facing that way even if you move. So always try and stay facing away from the group. Now this heavy attack, cone, poison-like attack, takes about 5 seconds to charge up, so you have plenty of time to dodge roll this, and you should potentially never get hit by it. Another mechanic Yandir will do is place a shield on himself and the sea adder or Griffin. Now this is kind of a useless mechanic because it only puts about a 1 million shield on both of them, so as long as you have like decent damage, it'll be knocked off pretty quickly. Now about let's say 5 seconds into the fight, he's going to spawn one of the 4 totems. Now you can tell which totem is going to spawn by the glow in his left hand. Each totem has its own effect, such as the first one, the dragon totem, sprays out 4 cones of fire damage going each direction. So it's basically just a line attack of fire damage. That's basically what it is. 1 on each side. Gargoyle totem shoots a rock at each individual, or at one player, that will petrify them. Basically all you have to do is just break free, you're good to go. The next one is a harpy totem, which spawns a small electric AoE underneath the totem that shoots out in different directions. Kind of like how Asylum is with Olms. Olms jumps up in the air, shoots little AoEs all over the place. The exact same mechanic. The next one is going to be the Charis totem. Hopefully I said that somewhat correct. Which is a poison totem. This will shoot out little poison orbs at a player's body. It's about a 3 meter AoE underneath that person, and basically all you need to do is just kind of spread out slightly so that you don't stack the AoEs on top of each other, and you should be good. You can potentially dodge roll the poison spit that gets thrown at you, but I don't know if that's actually intended, and it could just be a bug. As of now, the AoE is slightly bugged, our group believes, because sometimes if a player is dead and they acquire the poison, sometimes they'll still have the poison underneath their dead body, even though they're already dead. So just kind of be aware of that. It's a 50-50 chance that it may or may not be there on a dead body. Also, make sure that when the poison totem comes out, that you hold block or have everybody hold block for roughly about 5 seconds. So that way when the poison does hit you, it doesn't nuke you. It's almost like the Veteran Sanctum poison. So when a troll throws a poison at you, it hits a bunch of people. If it hits more than 6 people, one person's more than likely going to die. It's kind of like that same mechanic. It's really weird, very buggy, so just kind of be aware of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what happens to Yandir once you get him down to 50% health. Basically what happens is he tries to enrage, but he can't, so all he can do is just basically throw his greatsword down at you, kind of like what it looks like if you do the two-hander ultimate. And what that does is that will fracture you, and so you'll have a little bit reduced armor, and you'll take more damage for the rest of the fight. And then the second thing that he does after that is he will jump to you. He'll jump in the sky, and after about 3 to 5 seconds, he'll land wherever you were at in that general vicinity. He will land there and do a bit of AoE damage. I think the AoE damage is roughly about 5 meters. Could be up to 8, but it's highly unlikely. It's probably about 5 meters or so. So usually what I do is I call for melee to block or back up so that I can continue positioning him in a decent spot. But other than that, that's pretty much it. What I will do is I will list in the description down below, so make sure you check that out. Some tips that you may want to look at if you're ever struggling with this boss. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys have a great day, night, weekend, whenever you watch this video. Hopefully this video helped. I know that I cut it a little different than I normally do. Usually I just slow it down and I kind of just go over the mechanics as they're happening, but I wanted to try a different approach to it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I know some of them, when I was going over the Sea Adder and the Fire Shaman, I kind of replayed the same clip, but hopefully it gave you a kind of an idea of what mechanics were going to happen and how they happened. And then at the very end of it, I kind of just went over, I kind of just showed you the entire fight a little bit slowed down so you can see everything at one time. But yeah, hopefully this video helps you out in some way, shape, or form. Other than that, thank you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Yeah, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.